Yeah, hi Kane, Mark Getty here. Frustrating finish for you. Did you sense a few times during that test there was victory beckoning?
Oh, I mean, as we know in Test cricket, you have your ebbs and flows, but coming into day 4 and having a bit of work to do in that morning session to give ourselves a chance, I thought the guys played some superb cricket throughout to give us that opportunity or potential opportunity. And unfortunately, it wasn't to be today. And losing a day to weather doesn't help the cause for either side. But I thought the efforts were certainly there, and a lot of positives to take into the next game.
If we look on to the first one's batting, I felt we showed a lack of discipline at times.
Who's that?
Yes. In terms of the declaration, can you just talk us through your thinking around that, and you're pretty satisfied as a fair declaration?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Probably not the person to ask. We made the decision based on what we thought we could, or what gave us potentially the best chance to win the game, or enough overs. And we knew that losing a day was always going to be tough, but we certainly wanted to give it a crack, and that's what we tried to do. And whether it was fair or not, that was a decision we wanted to make, and try and give ourselves every chance. But unfortunately, towards the end, things sort of fizzled out a little bit, and we were certainly expecting the pitch to deteriorate a little bit more, and it did show a lot of signs, perhaps on day 3 and 4, or 4 in particular, where that was going to happen. But yeah, it just sort of flattened out, and the game ended up obviously fizzling a little bit. So a bit of a shame, but a lot of positives for the guys to take, for sure.
Have you seen enough from this test to give you perhaps even more confidence that you're on track for a good performance, potentially series win if you go well Edgbaston and the World Test Championship final?
Yeah, obviously going to Edgbaston and things start again, and we know as a side, adjusting to these conditions are really important, and at a new venue, that's still very much the challenge, and we know the quality that England have, and they're a very, very difficult side to beat. So we know the challenge is there, and for us it's important we get back to our plans, starting in a fresh match at a new ground, and look to execute those as best as possible. But look, it is a new game, but it is important that we learn a few lessons from this one, take some positives, but look forward to that next challenge.
Thank you.
Sure, who else is online there from there? Julian or any of the UK press? Have you guys got anything you'd like to ask Kane? I think you're on mute there, Julian.
Sorry, Julian.
I think you're on mute there,
Sorry,
Julian.
can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Yeah. I just wondered, were you a bit surprised by the way England approached what seemed to be a pretty generous declaration on your part?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's always tough to know how an opposition will look to attack a chase, or obviously 3 results still possible with that declaration, and no doubt, I can only think, if we're in that same position, that you do want to get a really good base and try and take the game to a sort of a deep stage where you might chase, have a smaller chase off less overs, but throw all your resource at it. And clearly there was a lot of work to do to get to that. There was a lot of overs left, and I think both sides were expecting the pitch to deteriorate a lot more, and it kind of ebbed and flowed, and the scoring wasn't quick throughout. So that's what we knew with the declaration, and we felt that if we could pick up wickets throughout, then that would obviously give us the best opportunity, and life could be quite difficult out there. But it wasn't the case, and I'm sure they were entertaining the idea when they were out there, but things just didn't perhaps unfold for either side.
and you kept play going well into the last hour. Were you concerned about your bowler's ability to sort of back up, given the next test is only a few days away?
I mean, we certainly didn't want to. We declared for a reason, and it was to try and push for a victory. And although it seemed unlikely for a period, if one sort of spun out of the rough, or you're able to open up an end, then anything could happen reasonably quickly. And we were holding on to that hope for as long as we could. But clearly things became quite docile out there, and it wasn't looking likely. But we did want to give ourselves every opportunity.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Kane. I was just wondering how you thought Mitchell Santner went and how important he is for sort of balancing your side. You sort of switched him to either end a bit throughout the day, and there was a little bit of turn, although it wasn't really a fifth day wicket.
Yeah. Look, obviously Mitch's all-round capabilities are a really important resource for us, and I think all cricketers want to adjust when they come over to this part of the world as quickly as possible, whether it's as a batter or a seam bowler, but spinners as well, I think are also a part of that picture, and getting comfortable with the Duke ball. So that was important for Mitch to get out there and bowl and get comfortable operating, and I mean, he created a few opportunities certainly in that first innings, which were potentially game changing, and we know he can bat really well as well. So for the balance in this game, I mean, it would have been nice if things perhaps showed a bit more deterioration on the pitch and from a straighter line. But yeah, all in all, it was still a pretty good surface, but also a very competitive surface where there was a bit in it for everybody. And unfortunately, the game just sort of came to a bit of a slow end.
And just throwing it forward slightly, are you looking at Trent Boult as a selection possibility for Edgbaston?
Yeah, Trent's obviously just arrived in the country, so at this stage he's looking to get active and get bowling and get the loads up, after a reasonably sort of hectic, I suppose, few weeks that himself and a few of the other guys, including myself, were sort of experiencing. But he's really excited to be back with the group, brings a lot of energy, so it's great to have him.
Cheers.
Okay, is there anyone else there for Kane? Otherwise, we might look to wrap it up. Can I just ask you one more? Just around Tim Southey up on the board again. What did you make of his performance over the test?
Yeah, look, he was phenomenal. I think, as a bowler on that surface, and certainly with the Duke in your hand, you always know there's going to be a bit there for you. And there was a little bit of seam, but you did have to hit the wicket hard and be patient. And he was all of those things, and led the attack, which he has done for a long period without, maybe a couple of key players that he's used to having alongside him. But I thought as a collective, they all operated really well. But Tim was superb, bowled long spells after, I suppose a long time between games. So, that was really, really impressive. And I'm sure he's really proud to be back up on that honours board. A bit of a talking point, and clearly another guy up there too, Devon, which was an amazing knock. Anytime I suppose you can achieve a double century is special, but to be in your first game, and obviously here at the home of cricket, it adds to that, and I know he's pretty proud of that.